Wednesday, April 29th, 8:31 a.m. The Board of Finance for the town of Madison is now in session. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the
Flag,
United
States
States
of America,
and to the
the
republic
Republic,
for
which
which stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
And motion to approve the minutes of March 31st, 2026, Tri Board, and we'll do them together, April 9th, 2026. I get a motion to approve the minutes. Bruce, thanks, Jack. I guess not. Second. Discussion or amendments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Chair's comments. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. But got approved last night, so those are all my comments. Thank everyone for this morning. We need a finance member comments. I'm going to go from virtual to Bob Donnie. I'll start with you.
Just happy to see that the budget got approved. Thanks everyone for your hard work.
Thank you, Bob. John R.
Yes, I'll echo those comments. Thanks for all the hard work. I know a lot of time went into this budget, so happy to move forward. I do have a question more than a comment, and Stacy's with us, correct? Yeah, I see Stacy.
Of course, Stacy's with us. You couldn't have the meeting without Stacy. It happened without me, but not without Stacy.
My vision, looking at my phone, I can't really see everybody there, but I figured she was there. We Board of Selectmen approved a couple contracts the other night or other morning for, and I'll just point to two. One of them's for the police storage garage. The other one's for the turf field. Those were put out to bid. When were those put out to bid? And I assume they were the low bidders.
I'd have to get back to you on that, John. I don't know.
Okay.
Anything else, Jack?
We do know that they were put out to bid, though, correct?
Yes.
Yes, we definitely follow.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Yeah, I just echo Bob Donahue's comments. Thank you for everyone for their work, but especially Stacy and Kristen as always. Without you, it wouldn't be doable. So thank you.
Jude?
I also just echo the comments. Everybody worked very hard and we discussed a lot of different issues. We came to a conclusion and the voters have expressed their will. And I'm happy this morning discussing the mill rate.
Thanks, Jude. Bob?
No comments.
Scott? Congratulations to all for getting to another budget marathon. A lot of research, discussion, deliberation, and going all things together. Very fruitful conclusion. So, thank you. Thanks. Thank you, Stacy, Kristen. All right. We have new business, actually, citizens' comments. Anybody from the public would like to speak?
No one online.
Second time? Third? Public information sessions now closed. New business, discuss and take action to set the mill rate for fiscal 27. So item A is discuss and take action to include in the mill rate calculations the state revenue. So just before we get to that, there is Peggy texted me this morning. I talked to Stacy briefly. There is some news coming out of the state that there's going to be
Hartford, Glen Avenue, Gabriel and Jose, Westport, Juliana, David, and Laura, Milford, Kim, Stewart, congratulations, Fairfield, Post Road, Navy, Constantine, and David, Norfolk, Francisco, and Vincent.
Bob Donahue, we can hear your background.
Sorry about that.
All right, Bob, I just thought you had somebody talk over me. I don't blame you. Bob's got it set, so anytime John starts to speak, he puts something on. Good job. So with that, talking with Peggy and Stacy, there is projected to be more state revenue. I'm not going to say the other half that I was going to say, but this year we believe only So there's, we believe it'll be more on the Board of Ed side, on the ECS side, we believe it'll be more on the town side, the municipality side. What we do with that revenue, there's been some discussion, maybe move the mill rate back to 98.75, maybe fund balance, but we have to, until we get the state revenue. And then there's part of me that says it's gonna be a one-time thing this year. Maybe we just put that in the fund balance for now and figure out what to do with it later. As far as the Board of Ed, when it goes to the ECS side, I think everybody here knows there is that provision now where the Board of Ed can keep some of the, if they had excess revenue. And they've been, I want to commend them and Craig and the Board of Ed, and they work very well with the administration and the Board of Finance too. So I'm sure they'll take everything in consideration. With that, so for right now, I want to discuss the action include state revenue in the amount of $2,261,940 in the calculation in the mill rate. I need that in the form of a motion, please.
So moved.
So is that you committed?
That's the committee amount.
We're definitely getting that.
Yes.
Okay, and the other
That's
stuff
what we
about it
received.
still.
This is what we are
Okay.
receiving, yeah.
Okay,
So the amount you're referring to that's news this morning, we don't know how much that amount is.
That is correct.
all right,
And that's not in that figure I just gave you.
okay.
So we do have I believe Bob made the motion or John,
Yes, I did.
And second by Jude. Discussion, I think we already had a discussion, but this is the number we already had. This is not in addition to what we heard this morning. Any other discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor to include the state revenue in the amount of $2,261,940 in the mill rate calculation, signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention, that motion carries. Right, so the other discussion we had was how much of the mill rate, do we want to offset with the general fund? Use of the general fund, we were at 500,000 for a good portion. I think this board talked about reducing that to 400,000. I'm going to make the motion 400,000. I want to see if anybody wants to use a different number for right now, but we pretty much went with the 400,000, which would equate to a mill rate dependent on the tax rate we use. States of 2.81 if we use the. I don't want to use less because of the state aid that we're going to be receiving, but we want to use a little bit more to lower the mill rate a little bit more. I'd be okay with it. I'd like the 400,000.
What does that set the mill rate at? Not the increase. 2.81 is an increase over this year, what?
2 so that the 2.81% increase in the mill rate is 400,000 from fund balance and 99%.
Okay, so 2.81% increase.
But that's with the other assumptions that we talked about.
Right.
Can we do the other assumptions first? To see if we need to increase any of the fund balance.
Sure, we can. I didn't make a motion. There is no motion. I just talked, So let's discuss and take action to set the mill rate for fiscal 27 using the tax collector rate here again before there's a motion of 99%. It was 98.75. If we use a lower number, we have to use more of the fund balance because the state aid's not here yet. All right, if we use a higher number, that's it. So I know we had elected. You want to say something?
No.
Okay, I thought you did. It's all right. I'm gonna let you talk. So there's the question, and I'll throw it out there. If we use more than 99%, which I am not in favor of, well, the mill rate obviously would be less. If we use less, let's go back to 98.75. Before we make a motion, just hypothetically, how much more of the fund balance would we have to use because the state aid's not here yet?
To get to the same 2.81% increase, we would need over and above the 400,000, we would need another 225,000.
Do you understand? Because those are the things you want to go through, right, Bob? So if we use 98.75, which is what we historically have used for years, thank you. We would need an additional 225,000 on the fund balance. If we use the 99 and keep it at 2.81, we use 400,000 fund balance. This is where you can chime in one way or another, or not at all. And I'll just continue.
So, just so I understand, if we went back to the 98.75% assumed tax receipts, we would be short We used 400,000 from the unassigned fund for 225,000.
That is correct.
And how would you want to make that up?
You'd have to-
Fund balance.
You'd have to increase the fund balance because we have to present a balanced budget.
Right.
We'd have to increase the fund balance 400,000 to 625. Say it again.
Or the mill rate would go up a little bit.
Or the mill rate would go higher, which, you know, we all pretty much settle in around that 2.8 mark. Those are your choices. The mill rate higher, use more of the fund balance. The thought prevailing wisdom is once you go up on a tax collection rate, it's really hard to go down on the tax collection rate. But there's only so much wiggle room in that tax collection rate also. Any other questions or comments?
So we're currently 600,000 ahead on tax collection.
Yes.
Correct.
And so we would be essentially harvesting 200 of that for this budget. Okay.
Very good. In the simplest terms.
Okay. Worse than my grandmother.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, John Picard, just a comment from me. I am in favor of expecting a higher collection rate of the 99 and not moving the fund balance from where it is. The donation from the fund balance, I should say, from where it is.
I agree with that.
We had a lengthy discussion on that, but something we'll have in a few more minutes. Any other comments or questions on the tax collection rate, which will coincide with the use of the fund balance, obviously. I'm not in favor of lowering that and keeping the fund balance at 4, and then the middle is gonna be even higher. Any other comments? All right, so I would like a motion, we'll stick with the tax rate for now, discussing the tax rate for fiscal 27. Using a tax rate of 99%, can I get that in the form of a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, seconded by John and Jude. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor of using a mill rate, for the tax rate of 99% for mill rate for fiscal 27, signify by saying aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention? That motion carries. All right, now we're gonna go back to, the use of the fund balance. Discuss and take action to allocate 400,000 of the prior year's fund balance, reduce the amount raised by taxes for fiscal 27. So the number of the potential use of the fund balance. Can I get that form of a motion by someone, please? Motion made by Jude, can I get it seconded by John?
Second.
Thank you. Seconded by Bob also. Discussion. John R., excuse me.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be voting for using the fund balance, partially because my little birdies are telling me that the amount that we will receive, and I agree, it probably will be one shot, is somewhere between 350 and 400, but that's not set in stone yet. But I hope that going forward that we wean ourselves off of fund balance, like we've been saying for years. And I also had concerns with this whole budget about using the health reserves, but I'm through that. And again, I will support this as is, because again, I think we can expect a little more state aid. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Any other comments or discussion?
Just one question. Stacy, on the revenue projections, I have lots of detailed questions, but in general, we're projecting about a 1.3 million in overachievement, let's say, in revenue versus the
For
budget.
this current fiscal year?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And that just gets swept into the fund balance.
Correct.
Any other comments on the motion? 400,000 of the fund balance for fiscal 27. Being not all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstention? That motion carries. So Stace, with all that, the mill rate I'm assuming was 23.06. Thank you. So discuss and take action to set the mill rate for fiscal 27, which with the numbers we just just approved, we'll put the mill rate at 23.06. Could I get that in the form of the motion for fiscal 27? Jude, can I get a second? Second by John. Discussion.
That's 2.8 something percent.
2.81% increase. Correct.
The current mill rate's 22.43, and the new mill rate, if approved, will be 23.06.
Right. The increase on
2.81%.
2.81%. That is correct.
May I ask a question, Stacy? We talked about this sometime and I've forgotten the answer. Each 0.01 increase in the mill rate, what does that translate roughly in terms of expected revenue? 100,000?
What's the current mill rate? What's the current mill rate?
Hang on a second.
22.43.
$100,000 would bring, if we put another 100 in,
Yeah.
it would bring the mill rate down 23.08 versus 23.06.
Well, I was thinking about it from the reverse side.
0.3 then.
Yeah, that's 0.03, but if we went up 0.01, we essentially add approximately 100,000.
Yeah.
Is that worthwhile to do in terms of a cushion because we're anticipating 99% collection versus 98.75?
Right, but
It's just budget.
Thanks, Jeff.
I get the feeling you're not enthused.
You're so perceptive. That's how they have me on that board. And nothing gets by. Any other comments or questions? And so there's a motion to set the mill rate at 23.06 and a second in for fiscal 27. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstention, the motion carries. All right. Discuss and take action to follow in compliance with state law requiring that tax bills indicate the number of bills the anticipated state of revenue would equate to this year with bills show. Just love this, right? If we did not get state aid, the bills would show at 23.58 mils. So we have to show that, correct?
Yeah.
We want to show. Stop on. All right. So motion is requiring the tax bills indicate the number of mills anticipated state revenue will equate to this year, would show if we did not get the aid, 23.58 mils. Can I get that in the form of a motion, please? We have to show this on the tax bill. Anybody want to?
I make the motion.
So John made the motion, Jude seconded it. Discussion? Seeing not all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstention? Motion carried. All right. Thank you, everyone. We've got a little ways to go here. Item number 8. Discuss and take action, set the donation of 7.5 acres of wetlands known as map 32, lot 12, public access easement on 168 Cottage Road, map 32, lot 9, which will include a constructed deck, sidewalk, stairs, plus 4 dedicated parking spaces from B&M Ventures LLC to the town of Madison, approved by the Board of Selectmen on April 7th, 26th. Did I get that in form of a motion, please? Anyone? Thank you, Bob. Second, awesome. Thank you, John. Jude. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Item 9, discuss and take action to accept the DOT active transportation grant for $5,000 for bicycle pedestrian advisory committee initiatives, which is approved by the Board of Selectmen. April 27th, 26th. Could I get a form of motion, please? Thank you, Jude. Could I get a second? Thank you, John.
Second.
Bob, discussion.
Mr. Chair,
Anar, go ahead, bud.
does anyone know, are we committing ourselves to anything by accepting this grant? Do we have any matching or do we have to commit to any expenditure?
John, there was no other commitment to this, just accepting this to approve the advisory committee initiatives, but we're not on the, I want to say on the hook. We're not,
Okay.
we're not, required for anything else at this moment.
Okay, thank you.
Apparently includes 2 bicycles. Wrote the details correctly here.
Yeah, it's just it's size.
It's right.
We do.
Yeah.
Any other comments? All those in favor say aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention, that motion carries. Item 10, review the financials which are in front of us. I know you did send an electronic copy. We have one. I'm assuming everyone has them. Comments on the financials?
I have one request.
Go ahead, Bob Moore. I
Um,
mean, yeah, Bob.
yeah. They used to call me Bob or there's get three Bobs.
That's it.
I don't know. So the question I have, Stacy, is on I was looking at the expense side. Um, and part of it's going to be education. So when we have, the categories for salaries, there's an encumbrance, which I assume is salaries that we're going to pay going forward, because that's the rest of the year. Then there's available budget. So I'm going to guess that the available budget is actually available, as in it's not committed anywhere.
Correct, at this point, yes.
Okay, so basically for people we didn't hire, or something along those.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
Could we get because there's one that added up in my head, which makes it plus or minus 20%. There's about $500,000 in available budget in salaries. Salaries, overtime, differentials, like anything that looked like a pay to an employee. Could we get some kind of an analysis on positions that were supposed to be filled but are currently open, so we can get a better idea how much of that will stick around at the end of the year? It's only 3 months.
Yeah.
Unlikely to hire very many people in 3 months.
Right, so we will, for your next meeting, we are combing through all of the accounts now. There could be some line item transfers. For example, the police, their overtime.
Right, yeah.
Every year we'll take any open position wages and line item transfer it to cover the overtime that happened because we had open.
Yeah, I saw
because we
that.
had
I included that in my.
the net
Yeah.
amount, and sometimes we need even more. So we're in the process of doing that right now, but we will include that when we come to you
Okay.
guys next month with the line item transfers or special appropriations.
And then could you also include in that the storm events number?
Yes,
Because that's 200,000 over budget, and that's a big bucket.
so that should be a good number. That is on your fund balance sheet. That will come to you next month
Okay.
as well. So on your fund balance sheet, there's 3 lines. That's it. One says storm events for potential special appropriation. Legal, we're very low right now. We still have 3 months left. We've had some contract negotiations and
Okay.
a lot of extra legal services. And then all of the other accounts, we are currently combing through FICA Medi related payroll, every other account to see what kind of end of year reconciliation transfers we'll need. So that will all come to you
All right.
next month.
Okay, and then it just what's going through my brain, it's a couple of big numbers that are not salary related that are significantly under budget. An example is hydrants and water mains.
It's what?
Hydrants and water mains. I don't
One
know.
more time.
Hydrants and water
Oh,
mains.
yeah, that will be done. That's big, that's a bill that we just haven't encumbered yet.
Got it. Okay, all right. And then the last thing is, what does LIT/SA need?
Line item transfer or special appropriation. So line item transfers are when a department can find money within their budget.
Okay, got it.
And with any given department, if it's over 20,000 between their line items, it will come to the boards.
Got it.
Special appropriations, all of those will come to the boards. Anything over 250, which we don't anticipate, would have to go to a town meeting. The only thing that's close is the storm events, and we're not there. So it will come to you all next month.
Okay, and then there was one more on the revenues. I have no idea what it is. Tourist licenses. What are the tourist licenses?
Tourist licenses.
Yeah, we made $200. Well, last year we made $200. What's a tourist license? It's on the revenue line.
Yeah, what department is it in?
Doesn't select
Was
it.
it Selectmen's office?
Those are the lodging licenses, I think.
I was from last year, none this year. Just as a lot.
Lodging
Never saw
license?
it. Never did. Okay, lodging license.
Someone who has a bed and breakfast.
Interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, could you clarify that item that listed the old appropriations, because there's a little difference in the original non-budget is something under 200,000, and then the 1.5 additional, is that 1.5 that it was included this year for CIP?
Are you talking about the baseball?
Yeah.
So originally, we approved 94,000 for planning. and 1.5 for construction. That was in CIP last year and it went through the budget process. So that was already approved before we entered this current fiscal year. Now for 26-27, we went out to bid, I think in May, saw that we were way off. So we had to put a pause on it. The 1.5 plus the 94 was not enough. They put a pause on it. Then it worked through CIP again for this upcoming 26-27 year, and we added 1.6 million. So that's how we got to the 3.
Okay, so the 1.5 that's in that list of expenses is from the previous
Correct, it
allocation.
was approved.
Doesn't include the 1.6 included, sure.
No, it was already approved.
Stacy.
Yeah, I just have one more comment on the fund balance. You'll notice under the projected for this fiscal year operations. First, under expenditures, I'll have somewhat of a number next month. It's very hard to give you projections. To Bob's point, there's a bunch of balances there, but we do want to comb through it, see where we're at. So next month we will have a number there. It will continue to fine tune it through July and August because things come through, after year end that we're not anticipating. But there usually is a number there for under expended amounts, just for miscellaneous things that happens on $100 million budget. And then the other item I want to share, this is new this year, the estimated tax appeal refunds. So as of right now, because of the reval that happened 2 years ago, we have some pending judgments and settlements that are still continuing. We still have some lawsuits that are out there. I don't know what that is going to result in. But because of the reval and the change, there's been a lot more activity than I've ever seen. So I want to normally we absorb it against our tax collections every year in our revenue budget. But I do want to highlight that this will be a hit to fund balance because the numbers are so big as a result of the reval. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. Just one other question. In the overall scheme of things, the unassigned, projected unassigned balance for next year, there this year, 626 is 6.8 million. That's after the is operational needs. But how does the trend, or what is the trend? When do we start with some fund balance? Is the fund balance generally been?
That's the same reason I said, you go back to this building, we didn't have much of the fund on.
Now, I can provide you with the history. I do have.
Yes.
It's on the first like or our page. It's in the budget packet. The fund balance.
I have a fan over my head.
I know. You have to decide.
I think it's available online.
Okay.
In history.
Yeah, that's why I did.
Yes, yes.
Just a matter of information.
But yes, it varies because,
Interesting.
year over year, we could do a special appropriation for the EOC of 2.6, so that would come off. But the fund balance has been healthy for very.
Any other questions on the financials or comments?
No.
Anybody from the public would like to speak?
No one's
Jamie.
on.
No one's on, second time. If nobody's, third time, public information session is closed. Like a motion to adjourn, please.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Motion made, second. Oh, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Meeting is adjourned at 8:59 a.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Take care all.